And we're live. What up, everybody? Welcome to The Writer and the Fighter. I am your co-host, David Golden from OregonSportsNews.com, joined by your other co-host, Jake, the half-black attack Smith from Bellator MMA, American Top Team Portland, and his bedroom while he kicks back and relaxes. What up, dude?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Oh, just over here living the dream.
Yeah, I feel like that's what we're all trying to do right now.
Yeah, well, I like when I worked retail and I like people would ask how my day was, I'd be like, "Oh man, living the dream," and they'd be like, "Right?" And then I'd always say, "If I don't, somebody else will."
There you go. That's clever.
One of my stupid little ones, or like
Little small talk dad joke thing.
Yeah. I tell people always having a good day when you're on the right side of the dirt, you know.
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Dude, you probably get it like so I worked at a place that sells fiberglass, so where you work is the same clientele, I bet you, like
Yeah.
these guys that come in and they always got to tell you about their whole project that they're working on. And I got lots and lots of boat guys that would come in and they'd tell me about boats, and there's always like sayings about boats, you know the two happiest days in a boat owner's life: the day they buy it, the day they sell it. But the best one I ever heard, this guy comes in and he was like, this dude looked so defeated. Like he looked defeated by life. Like he smelled like he just drove for like 100 miles with his windows up and smoked like a carton of cigarettes. He was just like, skin was all gray. He looked defeated, and he was like patching another hole in his boat, he tells me. And he said, "You know what owning a boat's like? It's like standing in a cold shower and ripping $100 bills in half."
Yeah, man. Like, boats are bad investments.
Yeah, totally, man. Who needs a boat?
Like, your dad should get it. You should talk to your dad into getting a boat. I was like, no, he'll never get one. I was like, that's like the biggest money pit you can do. Unless you're just balling out of control of it, it's not worth getting a boat.
Yeah, for sure. You got to be a big ballin' to get a good boat, but whatever.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I agree. So the elephant in the room, last week we sat down and we recorded in person after your fight, and
I shot and you fucked up, you know.
Well, you had a great like, it was a really good episode. Like Jake had this like whole long thing and he was really forthcoming, and I was like, man,
very honest. And
yeah.
I said some shit I probably I won't say again because now I'm not in that mode. So
but I will say it did end with Jake talking about eating the party pack of Oreos to his dome, and so there was that. But
okay, so you know how I went over to your house and your lovely wife made me all those cookies, right?
Uh-huh.
And I told you I literally ate every cookie but 3, right?
Yeah.
So I saved only 3 because in my mind I was like, I'm gonna want cookies tomorrow, so let me just hold off till tomorrow. Well, flash forward over to the next day. I have never been in so much goddamn pain in my life. I left work early. Like I just couldn't leave the bathroom. My body was just like, get every ounce of sugar, butter, fucking flour, every morsel of chocolate needs to be removed from your body. Like I almost thought I needed to go to the fucking hospital, man. It was bad. So I gorged myself too. I went too hard.
That's the sugars, man. They'll catch up to you. You got to be careful.
Yeah. That was the first time I was like, oh, maybe this whole me just working out thing isn't
not going to stop the beatus.
But now I'm back, so that's just I think it was just overeating more than.
Yeah, I imagine, but whatever, you'll be all right. You'll I'm sure you
days of work because of it. Like that's how bad it was. I'm not even joking. Like I was so embarrassed by it that I told everyone I got food poisoning from muchos gracias because I ate a bean burrito the same night. So I was just like, I think it's the muchos. And
it very well could have been, man. Muchos gracias was. I mean, that's a.
It could have, but I'm pretty sure it was the cookies. I was honestly the worst fucking pain I've literally ever been in. Like my stomach was like dry heaving.
Just cramps on cramps.
Yeah, like that wrenching, where there's nothing left in it, but it's coming through my butt, and like there was like literally nothing left to come out, so it was just acid at one point, so it just stung. Yeah, dude, I had a stingy bubble from your wife's delicious cookies.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. Well, those stomach cramps you get.
Yeah, man.
Those stomach cramps you get when you have to go. Like just the other day, my stomach was really upset, and I went in the bathroom, and I just let it go, and I came out of the bathroom, and I looked at my wife, and I was like, man, I know that I don't know what childbirth is like, but like
Yeah,
that's pretty close what I just did in there.
yeah. That's what I
and
felt,
and
dude.
I said, you know, it was pretty painful, and for some reason, like my nuts hurt.
Yeah.
I pushed too hard, and she was like, yeah, you know what? That's exactly what childbirth is like. My testicles were really sore. I'm like,
Fair enough, but
good one.
that
You
yeah,
got
I
me.
had the same experience. I know what you mean when you say that.
Yeah,
It
there's no way. I
radiates
couldn't
your whole
handle it.
body.
I couldn't handle that kind of pain. The real deal, but whatever.
Well, they get
And
drugs, you know.
dude, my wife didn't get any drugs.
What?
Yeah, man. It
That's
was crazy. She went from like 0 to 100 like in a very short window, and they were just like, "Oh, too late. Get in here, have the baby."
wow.
Yeah. It was
Uh,
intense.
yeah, it sounds terrible.
It was exciting, but it was intense.
Well, I mean, I'm sure it was exciting, but it still sounds terrible.
It sounded terrible in person too, but
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
I don't know. It's kind of a beautiful moment. Something I'll never forget.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just that shit's weird.
I'll just let you know, man. If you're at Kaiser and you're having a baby, you like just be ready to be an active participant in that birth because you're not just like there doing nothing. You are there helping out. It's crazy.
Did you have to go to like birthing classes and stuff with her, like the mods and like breathing stuff?
No, we did it at home. We just did a little practicing breathing at home. We didn't go to any of the classes. Sarah's not really into going to big classes full of people, so
Yeah, I
we
get.
just we did it at home and it was fine. And we had her plan, and it was like, okay, let's just try to stick to what you want to have done. But once you're in there, all your plans are completely out the window.
Yeah,
So
once
you
you
know,
punch the mouth, like
yeah,
it's like,
exactly, yeah, just like fighting for sure. And you just next thing you know you're like next thing I knew, like it was like a leg on laying over my arm. I'm holding her leg up, and my like my face is like right there, and it was crazy, man. It was wild, but
you guys
whatever.
record it.
Huh?
Were you one of those who like records it?
Mm-mm. Have
Yeah,
you
that's
ever?
so strange, right? People who like. Okay, so one time we found like someone like we moved into a house right when we were younger, when I was younger, and they left like a box of like old tape, like VHS edge tapes, and one of them was like the birthing of a baby, and like it was like zoomed in hardcore on the hairiest, nastiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, those videos are never good.
Yeah, I was a little kid. I was like, oh, what the fuck is this? And like, ever since I was like, why would you want? I understand it's your baby, but let's edit the video down.
Yep, super gross.
There's some
I'm
scenes
good.
that get taken out.
Yep. There's some stuff you don't need to see. You
Yeah,
don't need to be watching hot dogs be made. Like
yeah, for
that's
real.
the part you skip. Show me getting them packaged up. I'm good to go.
Yeah,
But anyway, that I don't know how we got there, but that was exciting.
I don't know, man. We just let it rip.
Oh, that's how we got there, letting it rip. It was
Ah,
the poop, as it were. That's always us, right?
yeah. It's always
Either it's
different food.
poop and food. That's what we should have called this podcast.
Well, there's still time.
Yeah, there is still time. Hey, you broke some news to me when we got on that your boy Ricky Simone just got accepted a fight with Brian Kelleher,
Yeah,
upcoming UFC September number 5,
yeah. I don't know. I think it's September.
September 5th. Yeah, not
Oh, I thought you were saying it was
no
UFC.
no 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 man. September 5th.
Gotcha.
Me being stupid.
Misheard you. Yeah, so yeah, he has that going for him. Just saw that today. Um, yeah, I don't really know too much about the dude. Like I know I looked at his record and who he's fought. So he's fought some tough guys. I believe he's 5-4 in the UFC. Should be a good scrap. Ricky says fight of the night all over it. So
Yeah, this dude throws down, and he's got some good submission game, but I'm pretty sure he's fought twice in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So like during this time, he's already fought twice. So this will be his third fight inside the pandemic time. Like he fought in May and then again in June, and now he'll fight in September. Like that's pretty. He's going for it. Good for him.
Yeah, you gotta get that money.
This will be his fourth fight this year.
Damn.
It's pretty solid, man. Good for him. But yeah, he's like I feel like he's a beatable fighter for Ricky. He's got knockout power, but also like he's been knocked out by some people. Although the last time he got knocked out was John Lineker, and John Lineker can knock out lots of people. So
yeah, Lennox is a different beast, but yeah, I mean, it looks like he's been submitted before. He's been knocked out. He's done it, like he's had a lot of fights, so there's nothing that's really going to surprise him.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be one of those guys who just is tough and is going to be there the whole time. But I think Ricky's just is basically going to outclass him. Like,
I would imagine so. Hopefully Ricky looks back at that Ray Borg fight and knows like the places where he took unnecessary damage, like Ray Borg popping that jab off in his face. I feel like Brian Kelleher hits a lot harder than Ray Borg, and if he starts popping a jab and it's landing, it's going to be more impactful than what Ray Borg's was. And that was a split decision in the end. So hopefully he looks at that and can shore up that hole and use that as he goes on to outclass him, like you said. I think he should be able to. Not to mention, Ricky's wrestling is on, is a very high level, and I imagine if he really wants to, he can make this a keep it on the ground kind of fight. However, Ricky seems like he.
Well,
go ahead.
No, I know what you're gonna say. It seems like he's been striking, but I think for this fight, what he's gonna do, just because that guy does have knockout power, is he's gonna use his wrestling to open up his striking. He's gonna let him know wrestling's in the forefront of his mind, and then when he gets comfortable with the wrestling, boom, use that striking again to set up the takedowns.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that it seems like in his last couple of fights, Ricky's been like really gunning for that bonus money.
Yeah,
and that's not a bad thing to do. I mean, especially if you win and get bonuses, you become legendary, like Chris Lytle, or
that's where you get a fan following.
I mean, and if you had a career like Chris Lytle's or like Joe Lozon's, you wouldn't complain about it. All those bonuses those guys have gotten, they made a lot of money doing that. But if your goal is Title Town, like you can collect those bonuses as they come, but you don't want those to be your focus. And in his last fight with Ray Borg, he was saying like, let's get that 50,000, and you could see Ray Borg like, bro, I'm just trying to win this fight. Like, and that's something. And I think he was doing that in the Rob Font fight too. So, hopefully he's looking at that and saying, I need a fight to win, not necessarily just a bonus. Like even though I want him to get an extra 50 grand, I do. Like that sounds great. For anyone I know, go get that extra money. I wish every fighter got an extra 50 grand every fight. You know what I mean?
That'd be nice, but
yeah.
Their perks and their not so good perks.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's some stuff I needed to tell you too. I forgot to tell you about some inside baseball on what happened with Ed.
Oh yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah. I'm all ears.
The UFC fucking sucks. I'll just.
Yeah. From what I read online, I didn't want to say anything because I imagined that Ed was pretty pissed because it didn't sound like Dana White's words were, "We paid them something, we didn't pay them everything," and that's not good. But
yeah, it was very, very little.
Yeah, and it's bullshit for someone like Ed Herman who's been with your company for so long.
Made weight, should have got his show money at the least. It wasn't his fault that the fight got canceled. The UFC's protocol, that's on them. They should have had someone else on deck or something. Like, this is on them, man. The fighter's taking the risk that they're gonna fucking do something like that. Well, I guess you're not really getting paid what you thought you're gonna make.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck you. Oh yeah, you gotta pay your coaches. Oh well, figure it out.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if there was a clause that in the contract that he signed, and if there wasn't, like, man, I hope his lawyer goes to bat for him to try to get him some additional money.
Well, I heard their reasoning was because they offered him a fight the following week, but it's like he has to stay in Vegas for another week, like,
and make weight again.
Yeah, right. Make weight again, and then of course you got to think about the coaches that are being quarantined with them. Like,
Yeah,
put your life on hold again for another week.
yeah,
The
yeah,
UFC's fucking like they're crooked, man.
yeah. That's bullshit. That's no good. That's that's pretty whack. And it's not like there's not money to be had. I mean, they're making a lot of money right now. I mean, they're one of the only people out there making a lot of money. They're getting a lot of eyes on their product. They just signed that new deal with Venom. They're doing all kinds of stuff. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I do understand that yes, there are huge incurred costs for what they're doing right now. I get it. Like you got to quarantine all these people, you got to test all these people, you got a lot of shit going on, but you're still making money hand over fist. Let's not act like you're not, It's kind of
Exactly.
bullshit.
It doesn't. Yeah, I don't care. You're a multi-billion-dollar company. I think you can part away with at least $60,000.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For sure. At the very least.
For the guy who's been in the company for over fucking however long.
Over a decade.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Yep.
Total bullshit. It's I was you start thinking about other people who have made money doing something that's kind of like a fringe thing in the world of sports. Not that the UFC is fringe now, but MMA as a whole has never really been accepted mainstream.
Yeah.
Do you remember when And One had that street ball show?
Yes.
And they had that kid from Salem, the professor.
Sure.
You remember that guy? So I just watched an interview with him on this shoe show called Full Size Run, and they interview him and they were asking him how much money he made with And One, and he was like, he was pretty open about it. It kind of shocked me, but he was like, yeah, I made a few $1 million when I was with And One. It's like a few $1 million when you were with And One.
Yeah.
That seemed. Yeah, he's like, dude, my first contract, I think I was making $80,000 a year to just roll with them. Like that's a pretty good little good little come up. Plus in the contract they had this merchandise deal where like they got like one of every color of shoe released, and he said so monthly he'd be getting these giant packages at his house, like all this money and stuff. Like And One's got that money. Like it kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I used to fucking love those little mixtapes.
Yeah, man. And that show was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, Professor's making 80 grand. Why can't Ed? It's not fair.
Because you got to keep your throat on the fighters because if they get any money, they won't fight as hard.
Yeah, right. You won't want to get out there and fight, or maybe you won't want to fight at all. You know what I mean? Like, come on, UFC. Like, eventually people are going to be like, you know what? The amount of money I've spent training for fighting, if I had just spent that on my education, I could be making $150,000 a year right now.
By the time you realize it, you're too deep in the game to really make it to alter the change.
Yeah, the only person who ever did it it seemed to do it successfully pretty late in their career, Shane Carwin, walked away to go be an engineer.
He had that job the whole time. Because you got to think, he went through college because he was a D1 wrestler, and
that's true.
His ambition wasn't fighting; it just kind of happened.
Man, worked out well for him.
Yeah, well, he was fucking he big ass hands, they just touch you and you die.
Yeah, you imagine if they stopped that fight with Brock Lesnar when he's on top of him. Shane Carwin, champion of the world.
Which he was the interim champ, but like I guess I really get recognized for that, but still.
Not really. Nobody cares about that. But you still got the belt, you know what I mean? You get to keep that on your wall. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
If you're Shane Carwin.
If you're Shane Carwin. Is it trying to make a comeback there for a minute?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I thought I remember him talking about possibly coming back to fight. I can't remember who it was he wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, well, comebacks at heavyweight can happen at a very late age. It doesn't seem to matter. Like, oh, warm body, heavyweight? Okay, we'll take you.
Yeah, right.
Doesn't matter what it is. When you were on your little hiatus and I was doing solo podcasts and I was talking about gambling, one of the things I said was just avoid heavyweight fights.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen, man. It's not like the 90s and Fedor's out there just mopping up Japanese dudes. That's not what's happening, So don't be betting on heavyweights.
Oh shit! Speaking of that, we do. There's a heavyweight fight this weekend, right?
Yeah, there is a heavyweight fight this weekend. There's a fun one. It's Alexei Olenek and Derek Lewis. Big Derek Lewis is going to
Oh,
fight Alexei Olenek.
and I was talking Mitrione and Tim Johnson.
Oh yeah. Mitrione and Tim Johnson. We got multiple fun heavyweight fights this weekend.
Yeah.
How about that?
Bellator Friday, and then what, the UFC on Saturday?
Yeah, totally. Bellator Friday, UFC on Saturday. This Bellator card is solid, man. Like it's not a bad one. It's got your main event is Michael Chandler, Benson Henderson. Co-main is Matt Mitrione, Tim Johnson. Miles Jury is fighting Georgi Karahanian, a dude you were supposed to fight. That's an exciting fight.
Yeah, I'll be watching that one for sure.
Yeah, Sabah Hamasi is fighting Curtis Millender. Curtis Millender's legit. That'll be a good fight. And then I think when you and I talked about this before, we were both surprised about this. On the co-main event was Adam Borix was fighting what's his name?
Slater?
Huh?
No, it's not John Slater.
No. It was another person who was in that tournament.
Yeah, and Derek Campos.
Yeah, Campos, but he fell out due to injury. So now it's Mike. It's a young up and comer named Mike Hamill. So that fight's not quite as exciting. But that was a good fight.
Yeah.
But this is going to be at 150 pounds. Looks like they've
that was 150 as well.
Okay, so double 150 fights, not going to hurt. And then we've got the man himself, Chris Lencioni, Sunshine, taking on AJ Agazarm. So that's a fight that finally is happening, that Chris willed into existence.
Yeah, stop hearing those motherfuckers talk. Like, that's all they. Goddamn, that's all they would do, just bicker back and forth with each other. No, I'll grapple you in a gi. Oh yeah, I'll grapple you in a gi. Just gi this, gi that bullshit, and it's just like, all right, well, you guys gonna fight or what?
Right.
I'm surprised the Bellator was like, all right, yeah, let's actually put this fight together. I'm surprised that they're trying to build AJ up, and Chris got a little bit of little steam going right now. So
yeah, well, and Chris is even if you don't like the way he talks trash or his promos, like, he's a marketing machine. Chris knows what he's doing. He's out there, like, there are eyes on him. You're talking about a kid with 8 professional fights, and there are eyes on him. Like didn't Bellator let him take over their Twitter page one day or something, or their Instagram?
His Instagram, yeah, that was his fighting Tywon Claxton.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying, like, they put faith in him because he's good at marketing. You know what I mean? He markets himself hard, and love him or hate him, he's gonna have extra eyes on him every time. And I think he called out the right guy. You're calling out a guy in AJ Agazarm who has some steam because he rolls with the Diaz's. He has some steam because he's got this great jiu-jitsu background, former world champion. And he's kind of a pretty boy, and so it's pretty boy versus pretty boy a little bit. And so you got that going for you. This is what I find funny. They list AJ Agazarm as 6 feet tall.
Yeah. I mean, talk about that's crazy. That's ridiculous.
Really?
He's for sure like 5'4".
Dude, if AJ Agazarm is 6 feet tall, Chad Mendes is 5'5". Come on. We all know Chad Mendes is 5'1.5". I couldn't believe how tiny Chad Mendes was when I met him in person.
Really?
Yeah, just adorable. Adorable little guy.
I don't think I've ever met Chad Mendes. Uriah's tiny. Michael Chandler's tiny. That's about the only people. Ian McCall. Ian McCall was cool. I talked to him a little bit in San Jose after my fight. Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah,
he was actually really cool. He actually came up to me and started talking to me. It was interesting.
Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah,
good on him.
And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, I thought, leaving fighting would be easier just to coach him. He's like, it's fucking harder. He's like, it's touching, man. He's like, I was like, yeah. But he was cool though.
Yeah. Well, cool and tiny, but
yeah.
AJ Agazarm 6 feet tall. I don't know about that. We'll see.
McCall was thick though. He was short in stature, but he was like thick. It was weird. Like he's definitely enjoying himself.
Yeah, at that same show, I saw Danny Castillo outside of the hotel.
Okay.
Also pretty thick for a little dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got some muscle on him.
Yeah.
I'm sure those dudes, like, once they're done fighting and they're working out, they're like, well, I mean, I can lift weights and I don't have to
Yeah,
like bust
right?
my ass all the time. Might as well.
There's nothing better than being able to eat as much as you want and just lifting weights. It's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I was yeah. I was gonna say that I was considering looking into weights, and then I saw like when the pandemic hit that everybody was just like buying up all the weights, and
Oh yeah, everything's gone.
I said
I mean,
no thanks.
I'm sure you can now, but
Yeah. What's his name's girlfriend's fighting on this card? The BMF champ,
no, just
Jorge Masvidal. Yeah.
they're
His
dating.
girlfriend's fighting on this card, Valerie Lareda.
They're dating.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
You know how I found that out?
fucking like 18.
I don't know, man. But you know how I found this out was that um, what's her name? Another fighter, a girl fighter, Jessica I. She said something about how good Jorge Masvidal was looking on his Instagram. Like she tried to like slide into him on Instagram, and everybody was like, "Yo, I think so and so has that one locked up."
Uh, yeah, she annoys the fuck out of me. I don't like her.
Yeah. No, she's
She,
on here.
I saw her. She was cutting weight in one of the saunas. She had makeup on. Like, go fuck yourself. You know. Like I get like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take pictures and stuff. I just hope she gets beat up. I'm not,
Yeah.
I hope whoever the other girl is, the mystery girl that they're not skin no love. I hope you beat the fuck out of this lady.
Tara Graff is the girl's name.
Let's
She's
go, Tara Graff. Once
yeah.
you pull that hair, kick her in the face. I don't give a shit. Just cheat, win, make her ugly.
Get that W. And then your boy from American Top Team Portland, Hamza. Hamza's getting a fight. That's exciting.
Yeah, on 2 weeks' notice. Good for him, man. I mean, sucks. The shitty part is uh, Bellator wasn't willing to give him a multi-fight contract, from what I understood, because he was too old. So they want to see. It's kind of like a prove it thing. So this is his chance, man. I feel like if he just goes out there and just puts on a show, shows them that he's not there just to collect the paycheck, that they'll hook him up.
Man, well that's exciting. I mean, he's got twice as many fights as this his opponent, so that's good. You know, he's got the experience factor. I hope that Grant Neal is not just a wrestler who happens to be really, really strong at wrestling and just holds Hamza down for the whole fight. Because Hamza's all about striking. I mean, that's his bread and butter, right? So let's hope he has the opportunity to do that.
He's probably one of the most technical strikers I've seen. Like I sometimes feel like maybe he's almost too technical. Like he's so technical that I think it takes away from some of his his speed, and it makes him too slow because he's trying to be so perfect. But it's fun to watch. Like he's fun to like. If I can recommend watching anyone fight this weekend, it'd be his fight, just because just to get. I don't know. He's just more fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, and now knowing that this is like a tryout fight for him, I imagine he's going to go in there with with some fire and be excited to get in there and try to get a win and try to sure up another fight. And he's been sidelined for a while, right? Did he have surgery?
Yeah, he had an ACL. I think it was an ACL, or I'm pretty sure it was an ACL in his knee. Might have been both knees. But he's been doing good. It's been about 2 years, I think, since he's done anything. Maybe a little bit longer. But he's been looking good, man. He's been in the room. Strong right now. I don't know. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I think he has a good chance of catching this guy.
He's a nice dude. Hamza Salim, if you want to follow him on Instagram, he posts good pictures of food that he cooks sometimes. And that always gets me going. So I like that. But this fight's at 205. Doesn't he normally fight at 85?
Yeah, he's even fought as low as 170. So, but again, 2 weeks notice. You're and you've been out of the game for X amount of years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a whole, this is a pretty solid card for Bellator. I'm not gonna complain about it. I'm more excited about that than I am the UFC card that's running next to it the following day. It's I think the main event is far more compelling. when you're talking about straight up a competitive fight, Michael Chandler, Benson Henderson sounds a lot better to me than Derek Lewis, Alexi Olenek. I would like I said, don't bet on heavyweight, but if you wanted to bet on a fight, you could probably bet on Alexi Olenek to choke out Derek Lewis. That's my feeling on it. I think his submissions are so much higher caliber than Derek Lewis's striking, which isn't bad. I'm just saying, Alexi Olenek. I mean, this dude chokes fools out with Ezekiel chokes in the UFC. Like, that's kind of unheard of, and he does it a lot.
I feel like it's going to be a boring fight. And
Yeah,
I don't think he does submit him, but I think he controls him and lays on him, and they just both are tired.
yeah. There's definitely that.
You will see Derek Lewis land a big shot where everyone's and he thinks he's going to get him, and he's going to rush in, and the homeboy's going to take him down.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense to me. I don't find that. I mean, it's a fun fight, but it's not a compelling fight, and I certainly don't think it's a main event fight. Yeah. You know, Alexi Olenek, I know he's number 10 at heavyweight, but that doesn't mean anything. You know, outside of the top 5 at the UFC at heavyweight, it's like you could be 6, you could be 15. It doesn't matter. You know.
I honestly think that the Mitrione and Tim Johnson fight is a more exciting fight than.
Absolutely. That fight's got, you know, that fight has excitement written all over it. You know, it could. Ooh, dog barks. Here we go.
We're all in the neighborhood, man.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that is interesting on this UFC fight is the co-main event doesn't really get me hyped either. So the co-main event is Omari Akhmedov. He's number 11 at middleweight. He's one of these dudes like Nurmi, you know.
Okay.
Wrestling, strong, you know, got knockout power kind of guy, and he's going up against Chris Weidman, who we haven't heard from in a minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw that Weidman was getting ready to fight. I didn't. Okay. All right. Cool.
This is the saddest thing, though.
Is it 85 again?
85 again. Chris Weidman fighting at middleweight in the UFC is not ranked. It's kind of has a weird feeling, right? Like, I know he's had a lot of losses, so I get it. He shouldn't be, but man, that's really bizarre.
Yeah, it is weird. I mean, at one point in time, everyone was like, "Damn, like who's gonna be able to stop him?" Like, you know, he had that perfect elbow against fucking.
Yeah, man.
What's his name? Mark
Munoz.
Munoz, that's what it was.
Yeah, that's
so crazy.
That was devastating too.
I feel like that was his best win. I mean, obviously, you know, the Anderson Silva knockout, but
like the problem is he dude, his recent losses have been
they've been
bad. Like he had the terrible, like, so he has the loss to Luke Rockhold. He has the crazy flying knee from Yoel Romero. He then gets TKO'd via knees by Gegard Mousasi. He gets knocked out pretty bad by Jacare, and he gets KO'd by Dominic Reyes. Like,
I didn't know Jacare knocked him out, but I knew about Dominic. Everyone else I did, but wow.
Well, the Jacare fight was a really good scrap. In fact, I want to say it won fight of the night, but the Dominic Reyes fight was pretty rough. But man, like those are all bad, you know, those are all bad losses for him. And the only win he's got in the middle there is Kelvin Gastelum, which is fine. But
it was a good fight, which was fun. Wow.
Yeah. But we've seen what Kelvin Gastelum can bring. You know what I mean? Like, we know his game, and it wouldn't have shocked me if he beat Chris Weidman either. You know, so it's, you know, in theory he could be 0-6 in his last 6 fights. And the craziest part is before that he was 13-0.
Yeah.
13-0, and you go on this kind of skid like this. This would be enough for a lot of guys to just call it, just walk away.
I would have been done.
And you know, the other thing to think about is Chris Weidman's 36, man. Like, not that that's super old, but like, you're 36 years old and you want to start over at middleweight right now? Okay, I guess.
Well, you know, when you've been dominant about everything in your whole life, and then you have this little skid, like it's hard to accept.
For sure.
You know, and who knows? Maybe, you know, he might be able to make another run. Who knows? I mean, if he can find a way not to get hit, right?
Yeah.
Back to his wrestling roots, he can be a motherfucker. Like, his jits was good. He had good jiu-jitsu. He just like abandoned it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
He fell in love with striking. That's what happens. Grapplers fall in love with striking.
yeah, that's true. That does happen. The thing I think that's interesting about him is just that, like, even if he retired right now, you're not going to remember him for his string of losses. You're going to remember him for being the guy who beat Anderson Silva. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, this what's fucked up is a lot of people are going to take that away from him too, though.
yeah, I guess I think the second fight kind of cemented the fact to me that he was superior.
Well, but the way it ended goes to the leg break. No one thinks about anything in between. I don't remember how the fight went before that.
He was dominating Silva on the ground.
I don't remember that. All I remember is the leg break.
Yeah. Well,
That's what I'm saying. You have the leg break and then you have the taunt where he caught him. So it's not like it wasn't a definitive. He beat the champion, right? And then
yeah.
he did go on to defend it though. I mean, he beat up Vitor. I want to say he beat Machida.
Yeah. And then he went up against like the best version of Luke Rockhold that there is.
Which even then I didn't think he was losing until he tried a fucking weird spinning back kick and then he got fucked up.
I thought he was losing that fight myself. Rockhold's top game is so strong, and I just
he didn't take him down until that point.
Yeah, I know, but if he got on top, I knew it was going to go that way. But I didn't think he was losing the fight. But it's been so long since I've watched that fight. I mean, we're talking about a fight that's almost 5 years old.
Good point. I just remember it being pretty competitive until he.
I believe it was the fight of the night.
I really don't know why he tried to do that.
I don't either.
I guarantee he goes, "Why the fuck did I do it?" Because that's the moment his whole career changed.
Yeah, man, it really did. It really did. And then, God, and then you gotta, in some way, you gotta feel for Luke Rockhold, who goes on to lose to Michael Bisping. Oh, what a kick in the dick, man!
And while he was talking all the shit to him.
Well, I mean, he
Rockhold. So.
He was so dominant against him the first fight, he probably just felt like I'm gonna walk through this fucking guy.
Yeah.
But you talk about a guy, I'm glad he's walked away. Luke Rockhold, we don't need him coming back. Jesus Christ.
I don't know, man. I think he might.
I hope he doesn't.
Training with DC right now, and then Kane helping him get ready. So.
Man, I love Luke Rockhold. I really do think he's a fun fighter, but I don't need to see him get destroyed again. It's the last thing I need.
There isn't more like Me Too ladies coming out after him.
Yeah. Did someone try to Me Too Luke Rockhold?
No, but you saw that creepy ass shit he was doing on that dating show. He's a fucking she's gonna spit or swallow or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
The fuck, man.
Well, that's just stupidity. It doesn't necessarily get you Me Too'd.
That's aggressive. Nah, he was. You got to watch it. He was very aggressive.
I can't watch dating shows, man. I can't do it. I can't do it. There's a dating show that's on Netflix right now that I kind of want to watch just because of what it is. It's called Dating on the Spectrum, and it's an autistic dating show.
Oh no.
Yeah, man. Tom Segura and Christina P talk about it. They've been talking about it on their podcast, and I'm really interested to see what it's like, because they're talking about it like, man, these people are so direct with each other. They're like, this is what I'm interested in, this is what I'm trying to do, you're not the one for me, I think we should go further. Like, it sounds like it's very weird and rigid.
Oh yeah, me and my girl are definitely gonna check this out now. I didn't know this existed. This is great. I'm so excited.
Dude, Dating on the Spectrum. And then there's another one called Indian Matchmaker, and it's this lady who's like a professional matchmaker for arranged marriages.
Yeah.
But
where they show like the girls crying and shit all the time.
I mean, that's most dating shows, right?
No. But I meant like, so like Christina is. Oh well, I mean, I don't know. Did your mom's house talk about this?
Yeah, they talk about it a little bit, but just for the last couple of weeks. But I turned Sarah onto it because she likes that kind of show. Okay. So I told my wife about it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll check it out." And she had it on the other day, and I walked into the living room. I saw that it was on, and I was like. I like sitting there watching part of it with her, and she had told me that for her it's been hard to understand the people, and that sometimes they actually have subtitles. Bro, I would have to turn the closed caption on. The matchmaking lady's accent is super thick. I couldn't understand her a lot. But this Dating on the Spectrum, that sounds like something I want to at least watch one episode of. But
yeah. Well, I'm stand Ryan Walker more,
Yeah, right.
Being the best man at his wedding and stuff, maybe it'll inspire me to write my speech.
Is he gonna have a destination wedding? I could see Ryan having a wedding in Hawaii. I could see that being
No,
his thing.
no, he's doing it in Vegas. It's I think he's doing a really small wedding. From
Oh,
what
good.
he's saying is, I'm basically the only one that's really coming in from out of town because of the whole COVID shit.
Yeah.
So it'll be like her family, his mom and dad, me and Mixley, and I don't know, maybe a couple, or maybe some of his cousins or something.
Oh, well, good for him, man. I'm
Yeah,
excited for him.
pretty
I
cool.
love, so good on him. um, I was gonna ask you about another fight on this UFC card, but there's not too many great fights on this. The best fight that I saw on it is like the opener to the main card, Beneil Dariush and Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman. I think that'll be a fun fight. Those guys will throw down.
Yeah.
And on the prelims, I want to say there was Tim Means is fighting on this card on the prelims, and I like the Dirty Bird.
Yeah.
So, I don't know that if he'll get a win or a loss, but whatever. He's always fun to watch. Tim Means is never in a boring fight. So, there's a couple good fights, but it's really a lot of names that you might not have heard of, a lot of people that, don't have Wikipedia pages, that sort of thing. I mean, they're really, like we talked about this last week when we lost on the podcast that we lost. It's really that time. Right now, the name of the game is staying ready because you might get the call.
Yep.
And man, you really never know because the UFC is putting on these cards and they're putting lots of fights on it. On the fights this last weekend, I think I heard somebody say that it's 90 fights in 40 nights or something like that, or 40 fights in 90 nights. I don't know, man. But it's a lot. They've been putting cards on every weekend, and it's just like, they're having 9, 10 to anywhere from 9 to like 15 fights on a card, and you're just like, where are you gonna find all these people, man?
Yeah, I mean they have contracts that are they have to fulfill. A lot of contracts are restricted by time. For those that don't know, it's not just necessarily you get a 4-fight deal. It's like 4 fights in 18 months. So they have to offer you 4 fights within those 18 months. If you don't take them, they can extend them, but you at least have to get offers during that time. So that's why a lot of these guys you're seeing are just turning around.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's exciting. I think it's an exciting time if you're an up and coming fighter. It's a good time to make a name for yourself, because I think the bigger name guys are going to probably hold out. The guys who are especially like paranoid dudes, they don't necessarily want to get out in the COVID times. Who knows? Yeah. And gals. I'm sure there's plenty of lady fighters who are like, you know what? I'm good. I don't need to get coronavirus.
I feel bad for the people who aren't signed yet, who are just on the cusp or 2 or 3, fights away from being ready. Because it's like there's no really small promotions going on. I mean, I know LFA did a show, but like even that, like outside of LFA, like what other opportunities are these guys who are 2-1, 2-0?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, man. I didn't even think about that. The local shows, those regional shows are really probably almost all of them are just on hold entirely.
Yeah, unless like maybe Chell was like, "Hey, we're doing Smash Underground in our little fucking little silo thing. Maybe he might put on some fights. I don't know."
Yeah, I maybe, but I think you'd need more regulatory body there for legit cage fights, and I imagine you'd have to have a bunch of tests done.
I'm sure there's a lot of shit to it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's like some weird legal loophole, or I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Fucking Indian grounds.
Yeah. Maybe get on a reservation and see if you can kind of catch a loophole. That's not a bad idea, though. If it's in California, Gavin Newsom's going to come in and drop the hammer because that's how he rolls. But maybe you could go to like Montana, Idaho. A place that's more willing to hold that kind of event.
Yeah, I expect Bellator to go to Oklahoma.
Right.
Over Connecticut. So
you would think. I mean, they have a lot of shows in Thackerville, man, but I don't know what the deal is in the state. I mean, the state regulations change like week to week too. That's the biggest problem. And Oregon is like, we are like one of the slower moving ones in terms of reopening things. In fact, we dialed it back, so you never know. I
was just reading today. They're talking about eliminating any out of state visitors. So like they're talking. Yeah. I just read this today that Kate Brown is talking about it, and they're trying to get the logistics of it because so many people going from Washington over to Oregon to work. So
Yeah, yeah, you can't really.
I don't know, man, but that to me that kind of worries me a little bit because if there is some weird thing and then can't go to
Yeah,
the gym, I can't. I did a lot of shit over in Portland.
I would imagine there'd be a neighboring county thing, but whatever, man. If you need to get a bill sent to my house to say that you live here, it's fine with me.
All right, dope.
Although this is recorded live, so you know
Well, I don't think they'll go
they
search.
won't find it. No, I don't think so either. You ever kids that did that in school, like use their grandma's
Yeah,
address so they go to a better school.
that's what I did. I
That's
got
what I did too.
I got recruited to go wrestle for Union my junior year from their coach, and I was like, all right. So yeah, I lied. I got accepted. But so what happened was actually kind of fucked up. Is I was going to go play football for Union as well, and because I quit the team over at my high school Heritage because me and the coach didn't get along, and
Sure.
I'm not saying I'm a great football player. I was a great athlete or whatever, but I'm athletic, right? Like I was decent. It's good. So when I was over at Union, we're doing like the combine shit, right? And from as big as I was at the time, again, I was, roughly 200 and, 40, 50 pounds. I was running like fast 40s. Like I was explosive, I was fast. I was killing him, whatever. So the local newspaper did like an interview and shit with me. The coaches had him do an interview and stuff. And they, I'm still going to Heritage at the time because Union isn't open because it's a brand new school. Like they're doing all their spring football.
Yeah.
And, I get called down to the office, and the football coach for Heritage goes, your address isn't within the boundaries. You can't be going to Union and yada yada yada. He's like, if I find out you play one game over there, he's like, I'll have the Washington State fucking athletic board look into it, and all their games will be canceled. Like made all this threats and stuff. My dad even talked to him on the phone. He's like, hey, we're just he's staying over at his friend's house, and he's like, well, I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, yeah, dude, it was fucked up. And so I didn't get to play football. So like that's why I'm like I love football, but like I used to fucking hate it for the longest time because he basically took away my football career from me.
Yeah.
Because he's petty and he fucking he's such a piece of shit that he would lie about his resume as a coach. He said that he won state in California, and then he told a bunch the school over in Oregon that's known for football. Told them like, oh yeah, I'm the state champion thing over in Washington, this and that, blah blah blah. The team the year before like won state. The following year they went like 1 in like fucking 9 or whatever it is, and like they started picketing, like putting like picket signs in his fence. They ran him out of town. His name was Beckstead, Coach Beckstead. You can look it up, I'm sure, but he got ran out of town. He got ran out because he was such a piece of shit liar.
That's so funny. That's what happened to my very first wrestling coach.
Yeah.
He lied about his resume, said he was all this, all that, blah blah
Yep.
blah. He started this like local wrestling club in the San Jose area, and they found out, and the people that paid to bring him to the school to do all this stuff, they were like basically like coming to him like, yo, why did you lie to us, and whatever. They're like, look, we can't have you working with these kids. Your credentials are not what you said they were. And
Yeah.
so that very night they left, parted ways. He's like, yeah, no problem, whatever. And they're like, we need you to pack up and blah blah blah. We're going to be bringing a different coach in or whatever. He went that night. He took his key. He went into the wrestling room. He took all the mats. He took the mirrors off the walls. He took everything in the room, and he fucking took it with him. It was all property of the high school.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Fucking nuts, right? Crazy guy.
90s.
Yeah, that was that was in the 90s. I don't remember exactly what year. Maybe it was like 91 something. I don't know.
I have both my dogs just hovering over me right now. I don't know if they're in frame. Well, they're not in frame, but these bastards, they won't stop breathing on me.
You know what it is. They can smell that sugar in your blood, bro.
Yeah.
Those dogs can smell the diabetes on you, Jake.
I don't think I've had much sugar today. I did get some cereal. I got some cereal. I'm gonna kill tonight.
Yeah, well, that's good. I love
dinner?
Huh?
You know what I had for dinner? It was probably the most healthy thing I've had so far.
No.
I had French fries with Blizzard. That was it.
Not much sugar. Just a fucking Blizzard.
That was a medium.
Just 1,000 calories of ice cream and a deep fried sleeve of potato.
I'll tell you, man. Dunking them in the blizzard was a good choice.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
I haven't done it in so long.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good.
So good. It's the only good thing about Wendy's is getting a Frosty and French fries. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all they're good for.
Yeah, yeah. It's I think that might be my new jam for a little while.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I got hooked on soft serve chocolate vanilla swirl from Mike's Drive-In recently, and I was like,
Dude, we gotta go to Mike's. Shit.
yeah, man, we got to. They're open. They're open. They got the whole thing set up. They got outside seating and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen soon. But yeah, man, I'm glad we could get together this week and talk a little bit of fighting. I'm sorry that I deleted our podcast.
I feel like people think we're lying, but like we legit had like what? It was a good hour and a half.
It was like an hour and a half. It was really long, and there
good.
was about 45 minutes where I almost just kind of interviewed you. It was but you were really forthcoming. You had a lot to say. It was really good, and I feel bad that it got deleted, but I had filled my Google Drive, and so I had a bunch of stuff saved on my desktop, and my computer was like, "Yo, you have too much stuff on your desktop. Like, you got to make some room." And so as I was doing that, I deleted the file that was in that's in the recording software. Yeah. Like, not the, and it's just like the raw file, not the MP3. And I deleted that before the MP3 got created, and so I went back to create it, and it ran through, looked like it did it, but it didn't. It only had 1 second on it. So
it sucks, but sorry guys. Hey. I'll do this though. If you guys have any questions, you can ask them, and I'll answer. Since I just don't want to go run through it. Like, it's hard to run through everything we said. So I mean, I don't know. If there's anyone out there who's like, how'd you handle this, how'd you that, or whatever, you can think of regarding my fight, or, whatever you want to know, feel free to ask. Like, I ain't got nothing to fucking hide. So.
Yeah. Jake's an open book. Look at him. There he is.
Yeah. That was kind of like always my thing. Like, when we're doing this was, I wanted to be very honest about whatever it is I was dealing with as far as my fighting. If I was going to be talking about other people's fighting and being critical, I feel like I need to be, equal as much to myself, if not harder. So
sure. Yeah, that makes sense, man. Well, hey, I'm glad you're back in the game here, and hopefully you're back in the fighting game before too long. We can find some news on what's gonna come up in the future for you. Right now though,
I just gotta heal up a little bit.
Heal up. Eat a few more blizzards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got some exciting things in the work too, so I'm pretty excited about. We'll be working. Like, me and Chell had a really good talk yesterday. I was hitting up about some advice and stuff, and he's gonna help me. He's like legit gonna help me this time. Instead of me coming to help him. So I'm excited for. He's gonna. We just talked about some things, and he said, "Hey, I'm more than helpful. To come out and do that with you." So
that's awesome, man. That's
good
man.
To hear. Yeah, so I'm excited for that, and also reach out to Mike Pierce as well. So we're gonna patch this boat up, and we're gonna get it steered right.
Well, hopefully you don't have to rip apart too many $100 bills.
Yeah, hopefully I make a couple.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, that's full circle right there, baby. That's how you do it.
Yeah, so we wrap it up.
That's right.
Send this to Dan Patrick, because I don't think I even cussed on this episode.
Yeah, maybe we send this one off and say, hey, give us some money. we could use it. But anyway, thanks so much, everybody, for listening. Make sure you follow Jake on social media. He is at Uber Smitty on all social media. I am at David Golden MMA on Twitter. You can reach me at David Golden MMA there. You can also get me, davidgoldenmma@gmail.com, if you want to talk about anything else. And we'll talk to y'all next week.